In the West, where justice is served hot off the campfire, you're either an outlaw
Gee, fellas, I can't wait to counterfeit these buffalo nickels.
or a lawman. Hands up, scumbags!
Oh, nuts, it's the Pinkertons. Blast them, fellas.
Premiering this Wednesday on ABC Family, Justice has a new name. Well, it's not new. It's new maybe to you, but I mean, it's an old name. You might have heard it before, but it's new for a TV show. It's Pinkerton, Wednesday at 4 p.m. on ABC Family. ABC Family 2? How many ABC Families do we have, damn it?
There's like 6.
There's 6 of them?
Yeah.
Hot damn, I didn't know that. Also, it's gonna probably be on the Hallmark Channel before long. ABC Family en Espanol, it'll be NSAP, Los Pinkertones.
Oh, Mr. Pinkerton, you're so manly.
All in a day's work, ma'am. The West is getting a little wetter than it is wild.
You doing the intro?
Yeah.
Are you going to do it correctly?
No.
Well, then you're not doing
Are we
the intro.
recording? Hey, everyone. Welcome back to Delete Everything Podcast, our elite unit of rough and tumble investigators dedicated to uncovering the crimes perpetrated by the deleted, omitted, and forgotten histories you didn't even know you never learned about. I'm your lead investigator, Riley Bowen, and with me is stupid asshole
Patrick Wall.
That's Patrick. We're going to read all the social media stuff at the end, but we got a lot to talk about today, so let's get to it, all right?
You can't just have an episode
Oh my God, we've got fucking 30 pages of
fuck
information.
the whole fucking thing we've been
ready to
doing
go.
for a year and a half
Did you hear how
up?
good that was? Fine, do it.
No, I don't want to anymore.
No, it's good. It's fine. It's all right. I'll wait.
1-star reviews only, and mention Riley by name. No, I don't want to do it now.
You don't want to do it?
No, I was trying to write it, and you
just
fucking
do the standard one. I said all the stuff.
You
You just
hosed
got to
the-
be like,
you
5-star
hosed
reviews.
me.
We love reviews.
you
Patreon.
hosed
Sign up
me.
for it.
No, we have a new format.
Yeah, that's the one where we get going real fast, and we don't do
That's
long
not
intros,
at
and then
all
you
what
can
we
say all the social
talked
stuff at the
about.
end.
Not what we talked
We gotta
about.
we gotta in.
You don't.
Slide right into that shit.
This is why we have meetings.
Today's topic is Allen Pinkerton and the Pinkerton Detective Agency. Allen Pinkerton was born in 1819 in Glasgow. He was the son of a police sergeant who died young. Ironically, Pinkerton grew up.
How young?
I don't know. It's not in my research. Oh, young-ish. Say 18. No, say 22.
Okay.
Glasgow young. I don't. So his dad died moderately young. Ironically, Pinkerton grew up hating authority, especially when it served elites. As a young man, he became involved with Chartism, a radical working class movement demanding voting rights and political reform, which was pretty dangerous at the time in Glasgow. The British government treated Chartists as subversives, and Pinkerton quickly found himself on police lists, and in 1842, he fled to America with his wife Joan, landing near Chicago with a little bit of money and a blacklisted past.
And how old was he?
He was 21 years old.
He already got into all that shit by the time he hit 21?
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah, no, it's like
Kids those days.
Pinkerton was just kind of fucking going from the time he was born. A little bit of a political radical, kind of revolutionary, just sort of a bit of a jitterbug, you might say. So he lands in the Chicago area when he's 21. He settles in Dundee, Illinois as a cooper, a barrel maker.
Yeah.
And this is where his first like legendary moment happens. Because he's got a life. We're just going to fucking just jump right into this. Okay? You guys don't know, the Pinkertons are like a legendary detective agency. Also known for being corrupt. Okay.
Yeah.
While gathering wood on a nearby island, Pinkerton noticed something odd. Boot prints that didn't belong to locals and signs of a hidden camp.
Rougarou.
It was the fucking...
Calling it Rougarou.
The Gumbaroo. That's a bat squatch. Curious, he watched the site for days and realized that it was a counterfeiting gang. Literally
Okay.
just stumbled onto it.
Right.
This is like his favorite place to get trees or fucking cut down trees to make the planks for the
Did he
barrels.
snitch?
Oh, he snitched hard immediately.
What a bitch.
Are you eating fucking French fries? You're gonna give me a conniption and then Drew a fucking conniption. Drew couldn't shut up about how your big nose keeps making noise.
Now
while we
you're
podcast.
snitching. My nose?
You gotta. Your nose is always.
I do that for effect.
And he always cuts it out. Drew always cuts it out, but between takes, I always go like he. He hates that.
What?
So
Okay. I forgot about my fries.
instead of, you want to do the socials now?
No.
Okay. Instead of ignoring this counterfeiting gang that he stumbled upon and then creepily waited for hours.
Yeah.
Who's camping out on this island?
Yeah. Did he also establish the first HOA in the country? With like, what kind of fucking bullshit
He's
is
a
this?
snitch motherfucker. So instead of ignoring it, he staked out the island, he gathered evidence, and he helped authorities make arrests. The case made his reputation overnight, and soon after, he was hired as a Chicago police detective.
What the fuck?
Back in the day, it could just be like that. It's like, oh, hey, you busted a counterfeited ring on yourself. Nice going, Encyclopedia
You're a deputy
Brown.
now.
Join the force. You're already a detective. you got more chutzpah than half of these jamokes.
Oh my God. Fuck. Dude. What a bitch.
Yeah, and it's 1850. You know,
I knew
it's
I
like-
didn't like him before. Now I already don't like him with new information.
Oh, no, it's
I
not.
like him less.
Sorry, it is not 1850 yet. He founded the Pinkerton National Detective Agency in 1850.
Okay.
This is an early beginning. I'm trying to find what year this happened. 1842. So let's say this
Brother,
is,
mind your business.
yeah, it's the fucking Wild West out here.
Yeah, dude.
Shut
You're
up.
fucking, you should find a bunch of guys counterfeiting money. Just shut the fuck up. Get your trees, go home. This is how you get shot.
Sorry, fellas. Or it's how you bust them bitches and make a name for yourself. You become a detective in Chicago in the 1800s.
I don't know. Some things just aren't worth it.
He goes on later to found the Pinkerton National Detective Agency. The logo is an unblinking eye with the motto, "We never sleep." And it gave birth to the term private eye.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
He's kind of the first.
there was another guy in Mordor that really used that same sort of symbolism.
Oh, yeah, there was Saruman.
No. In Mordor. Not in Isengard.
Mordor.
It sounds like Saruman. With fuck. He
Who
worked
does-
for Morgoth for a while.
Oh,
What are we talking about?
Morgoth's guy?
He worked for me. Yeah.
Sauron.
Sauron. That's so it does sound like Sauron. Yeah.
Pretty close.
Yeah.
Yeah, he pretty much copped that whole
Unblinking eye.
concept,
Yeah,
the
yeah,
unblinking
yeah.
eye.
That was his whole thing.
Well, you know, I like to think, you know, Pinkerton was the first like private eye in that respect because he had the eye, you know, and then he's the first PI and we're the first PV.
Where did they get the name Private Dick from? Did somebody start another detective
Well, it's just
agency
detectives
with
are called
an unblinking
dicks.
dick?
That's the eye that never closes.
A stiff, unblinking dick. And that's where Private Dick comes from.
So Pinkerton was a fierce moral abolitionist, and not like not casually at all. He's an abolitionist. It's a good thing.
Gross.
An abolitionist?
Yeah.
That's gross.
Being fierce about anything.
Fierce about human rights and abolishing slavery?
Okay, fine. I didn't
Are you
realize.
still eating fucking
I didn't realize-
French fries?
I didn't realize we were talking about slavery abolition.
What did you think we were talking about?
Alcohol.
It's 1840 something.
Okay.
So Pinkerton was a fierce abolitionist, and he wasn't really casual about it. Slavery disgusted him. He viewed slave catchers as criminals, not lawmen, which I think everyone should, you know, probably.
Yeah, I can get on
Yeah.
board with that.
I feel like if you're just like rounding people up in the street that are just trying to live their lives, then
Yeah.
you're probably not a real
Yeah,
fucking,
no.
not a cop. You're just a piece of shit. So his Chicago home became a safe house in the Underground Railroad. Like Pinkerton's house
Okay.
was a safe house.
Okay. With the exception of being, by the way, illegal. Who's snitching him? See,
Runaway
already
slaves
annoying.
were mad illegal.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I know. And housing them was mad illegal.
Yeah.
So, these guys are counterfeiting money. I'm going to tell the police. You know,
There's a
fuck
slight
you.
difference, I
Fuck you,
feel
buddy.
like, you know?
Uh,
Whatever. So his home became a
if you're going to
safe
stand
house.
up to authority, you know, really, what is the difference?
Escaped enslaved people hid in his cellar, sometimes while bounty hunters searched the neighborhood. Pinkerton personally escorted fugitives further north and used his detective network to mislead slave catchers.
Cool.
false sightings, fake leads, forged routines. He'd be like, hey, go tell these fucking idiots that you saw the slaves escaping out over there.
Yeah.
I'm going to take them
No,
this
the
way.
next town over. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, and it wasn't like symbolic resistance. Under the Fugitive Slave Act, Pinkerton could have been arrested, fined, or even shot in some circumstances. He later wrote that he would have shot a slave catcher without hesitation if it meant protecting a fugitive.
So far, I'm into all this part.
I'm into that shit.
By the way, just for clarification, I'm saying if you're going to be anti-establishment, pick and choose. Leave the fucking counterfeiters alone. This is where I'm going to keep going back to this. The whole way he made his fucking name, the whole way he got to where he was by diming out some guys just trying to make a few extra bucks.
Well, he's doing backbreaking labor, doing honest work.
Yeah, he could have just joined them.
Yeah, he could have, or he could have continued being a productive member of society.
Blackmailed them for the foreseeable future and gotten his nut.
Listen, they were trying to take the easy way, and he was just trying to be an American. Working hard and making your way as an immigrant in this country is tough. Mm-hmm. If you keep your nose to the grindstone.
Yeah, you can make the Rockefellers a few extra bucks.
He's making barrels. Rockefeller Barrel Company, a big one.
Probably.
He's coopering.
Probably.
Will you stop eating fucking French fries? I'm going to lose my fucking mind. I wrote so many things for this.
This is called comeuppance, I believe is what they call this. Your comeuppance. Frustrating, isn't it?
So moral absolutism kind of defined Pinkerton's whole career. This is the good Pinkerton stuff. This is my favorite shit right here. The part of his life where he's less private eye and he's more like radical abolitionist running a covert war inside the United States. That's cool. That's really cool shit. Like the Underground Railroad years were dangerous and personal and really morally uncompromising. And his connection to John Brown put him right at the nerve center of pre-Civil War violence.
Okay.
By the early 1850s, Pinkerton was a respected Chicago detective, but at night his house became something very, very different, protecting runaway slaves.
Sure.
Pinkerton later described knocking patterns he and his wife Joan agreed on. One pattern meant friend, another meant get the fuck out of here, they're slave catchers. Another one is like, hey, I'm stopping by, but you don't actually have to open the door. I'm just letting you know I'm here. He had a whole run of secret codes.
Cool.
More than once, escaped enslaved people were hidden beneath the floorboards in his cellar while bounty hunters questioned Pinkerton above them. And he'd calmly offer them coffee, or he'd answer questions. He'd help search other streets. He'd be like, well, let me grab my badge and we can go question the neighbors.
He was on their radar then.
Oh, yeah. But more as, hey, you're like one of the hot detectives around here. Have you heard anything? Have you got anyone in your network that can help us? He'd be like, yeah, let me grab my hat. We'll go question the neighbors right now. In the meantime, he'd go talk to his neighbors and be like, don't fucking say a word. And he'd deliberately steer them away from his own home. One night, a family arrived barely ahead of pursuit. Pinkerton hid them, then learned slave catchers were canvassing the block. He armed himself, and we already talked about this. He said he was prepared to kill. I guess I rewrote this twice. But he sat awake until dawn, listening for boots on the steps in front of his own door with his guns. He's like, well, I guess I might have to kill a motherfucker tonight, I guess.
Okay.
Oh, hey, it's Sam. Too late now, Sam. I don't have time to answer this shit.
She calling you?
Yeah. So Pinkerton never forgot how close that night came to violence, though. He said afterward that this was the moment that he fully accepted that abolition wasn't a political opinion, it was a war.
By the way, most of the people listening to this will have no idea what.
Oh, I just got a phone call from somebody that we were
just tried to call one of our
Patreon.
Patreon listeners while doing a Patreon episode that had her cousin tied into this crazy bank robbery shit, and now she's calling back.
And I'm not answering because we're recording right now.
Yeah, it's all good.
After the Fugitive Slave Act of 1850, aiding escapees became a federal crime, and Pinkerton responded by doing something pretty extraordinary. He began deliberately falsifying police information and making sure that the entire precinct sent out false reports. He'd create false travel intelligence. He invented sightings of fugitives in wrong towns. He would feed slave catchers bad leads through informants, tip off Underground Railroad conductors about raids. Generally, he had a whole covert underground network and became probably the number one freed slave defender in Illinois, which is pretty cool because Illinois was a massive Underground Railroad state.
Yeah.
In one case, a bounty hunter proudly told Pinkerton he was closing in on a fugitive family. Pinkerton congratulated him, then immediately sent a courier north to reroute the escapees, and he arranged a fake sighting 2 towns over.
Nice.
Take that, bitch. He admitted without regret that he committed perjury and obstruction of justice multiple times in the service of abolition. Pinkerton met John Brown in the late 1850s. If anybody listened to our Underground Railroad episodes, our incredibly dense and hard to listen to Underground Railroad episodes, our very ambitious early projects, John Brown was a Mormon abolitionist in the Western Territories around Kansas.
Yeah, Kansas and Missouri.
Yeah, he was part of the Bleeding Kansas situation.
That's one way of putting it.
So Pinkerton met John Brown in the late 1850s.
Prequel to the Civil War is what I would call it.
Prequel to the sequel.
What?
Prequel to the sequel.
That would, what?
Prequel to the sequel.
No. Can't have a prequel
It's
to
a
the
song by well-respected tech metal enthusiasts, players.
Who?
It's a metal band. Between the Buried and Me wrote a song called Prequel to the Sequel. Don't worry about it. So Pinkerton described John Brown as quiet, intensely focused, and absolutely convinced God had appointed him as an executioner. Brown, for his part, trusted Pinkerton almost instantly, which is no small thing for a man who trusted almost nobody. They bonded over two shared beliefs. One, that slavery would never end peacefully, and that two, violence against slavery was morally justified.
Okay.
Which I can get down on.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna push back on that.
Yeah, I think sometimes a little violent action against human rights abuses is merited.
I can't think
Especially
of
when you do it with a fucking sword.
I can't think of a single revolution that happened completely unarmed.
It's Che Guevara, actually. A revolution without guns would never work. That's almost a direct quote. You just fucking off the top of your head, huh?
Yep.
Not bad. See where your soul is. Soul of a revolutionary.
Single time.
Or just like some...
Every time there's been massive revolutionary change, it involves heads rolling.
That's pretty much it. Yeah. Has nothing to do with current climate stuff. We're not being contemporary.
Take it for what it's worth.
Here's an anecdote. When John Brown traveled through the Midwest raising money and coordinating supporters, Pinkerton sometimes provided protection, intelligence, or safe meeting spaces. Pinkerton knew Brown was planning something really big. He just didn't know exactly what. And at one meeting, Pinkerton reportedly realized Brown was speaking in deliberate riddles, even among allies. And when pressed, Brown simply said something along the lines of, "If you knew everything, you might be tempted to stop me, so I can't allow that." Pinkerton accepted that.
Okay.
He went, "Oh, all right then." He later wrote that
I don't know that I would get behind that one.
if you ever catch me like speaking in riddles about like what I'm going to do later, don't worry about it.
No, see, I am going to push back on that. I'll be like, dude, what are you doing? What are you planning?
If my intentions you must know, then on my feet and away I go.
Yeah, and if your response was, yeah, you don't need to know everything. If you knew everything, you might try and stop me. I'd be like, oh, okay,
if the future
buddy.
you will see, answer me these riddles 3. When I speak in riddles, it's like a fucking bridge keeper.
What is your favorite color?
So Pinkerton later wrote that had he known the full details of Harper Ferry, he would not have betrayed Brown, but he might have tried to dissuade him, believing the timing wasn't right. Maybe don't go kill all those people with a sword yet. Maybe next week?
Maybe get some more intel. Let's maybe make sure that you're not going to be killed afterwards.
When Brown's raid on Harper's Ferry failed in 1859 and Brown was captured, Pinkerton was devastated, but not disillusioned. While much of the North distanced itself from Brown, Pinkerton did the opposite. Privately, he called Brown a martyr, and publicly, he was pretty careful about it. But by now, he was way too visible to openly praise a convicted traitor. But Pinkerton later admitted if Brown had escaped north, Pinkerton would have hidden him.
Oh, yeah.
And that's like he's not hedging it. That's not in theory. He's like, yeah, I have a room in my basement.
I was going to say, it seems like he's proven that he's above reproach, at least in that aspect.
Yeah, Pinkerton, as well as Brown, believed that law enforcement was morally illegitimate when it enforced slavery. So yeah, he drew a sharp line. Laws protecting slavery were criminal, and people that enforced them were fair game. Essentially, what he's saying is violence against unjust laws is justified. Mm-hmm. Which is a radical belief that we at Delete Everything Podcast may or may not endorse. Let's say we don't. So
catch me one-on-one for a more detailed statement.
So Pinkerton, John Brown wasn't like a fanatic. He was just too early with his shit. And then he lived to see the abolition of slavery accomplished by massive violence, just as Brown predicted.
Mm-hmm.
So when Pinkerton later gets involved in the Civil War, it's more of a continuation of the fight he was already in.
Yep.
And he's like, yeah, this is what we were talking about the whole fucking time. Like,
Just a few 100,000 young men dead.
his most famous cases happen pre-Civil War, between John Brown's execution and the actual start of the Civil War.
Okay.
Pinkerton's most famous pre-Civil War case reads like a thriller. In early 1861, as Abraham Lincoln traveled secretly towards Washington for his inauguration, Pinkerton uncovered intelligence that Southern sympathizers in Baltimore planned to assassinate him during a train transfer.
Southern sympathizers in Baltimore, Maryland.
Yeah.
Baltimore wasn't a Southern state.
No, but Southern sympathizers.
Okay. I got you.
Right?
And Baltimore's right there near D.C. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, and in a slight aside, we do live in a fairly divided nation right at the moment, and it is...
What?
I'm not saying anything political here, but it is a lot easier in my life now to understand the Civil War divisions of the time.
Yeah.
Because we've always heard about brother versus brother in that war, but seeing heavy divisions politically
Yeah, it was just
in contemporary times is really interesting to see.
Yeah, I was
because
just
it
listening
adds
to a
new texture
story
to that.
recently where it was it was your classic brother versus brother story where a family in Kentucky, one brother went to fight for the South, one brother went to fight for the North. Same family.
Yeah.
I'm like, God damn.
Fucking. But yeah, it's with current strifey stuff and political division, it's just added a different texture to looking at that kind of history that you would never get in more peaceful conjoined times. You know what I mean? Growing up in the 90s with fucking Captain Planet on
the
TV and shit like that.
1990s.
Yeah, in the 90s, it was hard to understand where these divisions are coming from.
Yeah.
But now it's it's okay. I get
all
you.
we cared
I
about
see
back then was just fucking
cereal. I wanted Oops All Berries.
playing video games and going to the mall.
Skateboarding.
Yeah.
In early
Whatever comes with skateboarding.
In early 1861, Abraham Lincoln is there's a plot that's rumored that someone's going to try and assassinate Abraham Lincoln. Baltimore was crawling with secessionists, and Lincoln, who was tall and awkward. And Lincoln, who was tall and awkward, and he wore a big ass fucking hat all the time, would be very exposed in a crowd. Hey, look at that big, tall, bearded motherfucker wearing a stovepipe hat like a psychopath.
It was
Can't
definitely
walk
a
in
fashion
any
choice.
place. Cannot walk in a door.
The beard with no mustache, it's a fashion choice he had going on. He's very
Where's Lincoln? We can't. Oh, it's that big fucking hat.
Yeah. Where's Lincoln would never have had the same success as Where's Waldo.
Pinkerton planted a bunch of agents in secessionist circles, and he used female operatives to extract gossip that men assumed was harmless, because what are women going to do? And he personally interrogated a bunch of suspects. Pinkerton was a really brusque, fucking get in there and hit somebody with something kind of guy. Hey, where the fuck? And he'd fucking blackjack people.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh,
He'd
yeah.
have a little fucking cloth bag full of pebbles and just fucking smack somebody in the head and be like, hey, tell me who's going to kill Lincoln. He was convinced the threat was real, and Pinkerton arranged for Lincoln to disguise himself, starting with taking off that 4-foot fucking stovepipe hat. He'd travel at night and slip through Baltimore unannounced, and Lincoln arrived safely. Critics later mocked the secrecy, calling it cowardly. But after Lincoln's eventual assassination, history became much kinder to Pinkerton's paranoia.
Cowardly.
Hey, you fucking cowards.
Yeah.
Then he gets shot, and he's like, oh, I guess so.
Walk through town and take bullets like a man.
Pussy. A particularly cool bit of this story, actually, is that Lincoln's bodyguard on this trip was a woman named Kate Warren, and she might be the most quietly revolutionary figure in all of Allen
His bodyguard
Pinkerton's
was a
entire
lady
history. Yeah.
in 1860s?
Exactly. It's like a really quietly revolutionary character.
Huh.
Kate Warren became the first known female detective in the United States.
Interesting.
Pinkerton didn't hide her role at all. He put her in the field immediately, and often in situations where a man would have failed very badly. You know?
Okay.
She specialized in long-term undercover work, emotional manipulation within coercions.
She was honeypotting.
He was honeypotting.
motherfuckers.
She was honeypotting hard.
She was hot, huh?
She was really good at high society infiltration, so
she was
probably
hot.
definitely hot.
She was definitely hot.
She played multiple social roles. She could do the widow, the Southern belle, the confidant, the sister, the wife, the housemaid, whatever. Whatever girl role made men comfortable.
You know what particular thing gets you into all those roles? Being hot.
Being hot, yeah.
Being
that's
a hot
pretty much-
lady.
Let me pull up a picture of Kate Warren. Let's see if she is hot.
I mean,
I mean, we're talking revolution or
Yeah,
Civil
1860s
War.
hot.
Civil War hot. You know what I'm talking about? Okay.
Yeah, flip that thing around. Let me see.
That's what they said to her. She looks kind of mean.
Yeah, but I mean, she probably cleans up nice.
No, she's not wearing a bra in this picture.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, she's kind of hot.
Like I said, 1860s hot is a different kind of thing going on.
Pinkerton wrote that she could assume any position. You know what I'm saying? From the highest to the lowest with perfect naturalness. That's not flattery. This is like field assessment. Pinkerton sent her into Baltimore alone, posing as a Southern sympathizer. She attended secessionist gatherings. She listened carefully and didn't say a whole lot, and she let all the men underestimate her. And they talked. They talked a lot.
Yeah.
Kate Warren extracted details of the assassination plan, where Lincoln would be attacked, how the crowd would be used, and how the killers intended to vanish. And when she returned to Pinkerton, he believed her completely. He was like, fuck yeah. They didn't need a corroborator. He was like, yeah, Kate, you're the one. Cool.
Right.
Which, again, is a very revolutionary angle on Pinkerton as a man, I think. On the night...
She's pretty in this picture.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Good for her.
She ain't got no eyebrows.
Really? They're there.
That was the style at the time.
It's an old sepia tone freaking photo, you know?
On the night Lincoln passed through Baltimore secretly, Kate Warren played his sister. She stayed with him in the sleeper car to maintain the disguise and watch for threats. The story is that she never blinked the entire time he was in her care. So the Pinkerton symbol of the open eye and the slogan, "We never sleep," is in direct reference to her.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's believed that if Warren had failed, Lincoln would have died before ever taking office. Ooh, he just held up a picture of her dressed in like
her Pinkerton uniform.
In like her Pinkerton uniform. Yeah, that's a babe. Look, she looks like, you can see in her eyes, she's like, yeah, motherfuckers, look at me.
Yeah, like imagine her all dolled up and dressed at some like high society thing, you know, with that little sly look in her eye. You'd fall for it.
Oh yeah, it's a good. She had to hold that look for a long time for that picture. Kate Warren became the head of Pinkerton's female detective division, which is a network of women spies operating across the country. And these women would cross enemy lines during the Civil War and gather intelligence in parlors and hospitals. They would use like domestic labor as a cover, and they carry coded messages sewn into their clothing.
Okay.
Like there was a whole thing where they would use needlepoint and do like cross stitching in code to deliver messages into people's clothes.
That's cool.
And Warren developed that and trained them all personally. And Pinkerton credited her with inventing methods that male detectives simply would never replicate. And yeah, she's the first female detective of the United States. It's a cool story.
That's cool.
Yeah, I like that one.
I'm into it.
Yeah, I'd like to see a story where like she and Harriet Tubman team up, you know? Because Harriet Tubman's doing very similar shit on the other side. You know, she's like, I'm just a crazy old woman walking around the street.
Yeah,
In the meantime, she's spiriting entire families out. Once the Civil War erupted, Pinkerton was recruited by General George B. McClellan to run Union intelligence. Intelligence gathering really wasn't Pinkerton's thing, but he accepted and he just kind of like fucking winged it, man. He's like, this general's like, hey, I need you as our intelligence officer. And Pinkerton's like, a what now? Like a spy master? Okay, I guess we'll figure it out. So he built one of the first organized military intelligence services in the United States history. He deployed spies behind Confederate lines, and he used black intelligence sources. I mean, like black people as intelligence sources.
I got it.
Escaped enslaved people, river workers, civilians. The Confederacy ignored. He relied heavily on female spies. We mentioned, and some of his agents were captured and executed as spies. Like this was a full wartime daring do like spy network.
Okay, I'm guessing they probably never gave up that they were Pinkertons.
Well, they still were, like, they kind of were, kind of weren't. Like, he would have people from his detective agency work for him.
Right.
But he would also just have, like, soldiers as spies
Sure.
or civilians.
I'm guessing they never gave up that they were working for him.
His name starts getting bandied about as more of a celebrity figure at this time. Because he's already kind of thought of as the man who saved Lincoln from the assassination.
Right.
Like, his legend is growing pretty steadily. The Civil War years or where Pinkerton stops being like a colorful detective character and he turns into something closer to like a proto-intelligence chief, like M from James Bond.
Right.
You know, he's improvising an entire profession while the country is tearing itself apart.
Right. And pretty soon is where we get to hear him not be so cool anymore.
Oh yeah, we're getting there.
Yeah.
We'll get there. It's actually kind of like right after the Civil War.
Yeah.
It's like a really cool intro to who he is and like the beginning. I want to live in the pre-Civil War Pinkerton era. Like I want to be one of them. I would love to be a fucking pre-Civil War Pinkerton detective.
Yeah.
That sounds fucking dope.
Yeah, I mean, but the thing is, probably a lot of those guys ended up being post-Civil War Pinkerton detectives.
Yeah, or, they die. Get executed or some shit. Yeah, it's pretty fucking cool that there even was this like spy network at the time. Because just like with Kim Philby and England in the Cold War, everything at the time was just like handshakes. It was handshake agreements and deals in politics. So a good counter spy could have turned the entire tide of the war if he just like had drinks with the right people.
Right.
It was fucking crazy. When Pinkerton formally entered Union service in 1861, he didn't do it as Allen Pinkerton at all. He took the alias Major E.J. Allen. It should be noted that he had not been promoted to the rank of major. He just kind of named himself Major.
As one did back then.
It was like, are you a major? Well, it's my cover. I have to. You have to treat me like one.
Yeah.
Like, I'm pretty sure you're like a lieutenant colonel. He's like, no, I'm a major.
The paperwork didn't, as we talked about in the Life and Crimes of Albert Packer, or Alfred Packer.
Butt Packer.
You could just go, like, when he got friggin' discharged from his first military company, he just went like to the next state over and was like, yeah, I want to be in the war.
That guy was discharged.
I don't want to do any. I don't want any spoilers for people who haven't listened to it yet.
Yeah, go listen to that one.
But the
that guy
paperwork
sucks.
The paperwork was not.
We named him Butt for a reason.
Alfred Packer.
So Confederate agents already knew Pinkerton's name from the Lincoln affair. If he was captured, he'd have been treated as a fucking spy and a traitor, and he'd have been executed. They'd have hung him immediately.
Yeah.
But if he took on the rank of major, he'd be treated as like a gentleman officer, This is Major Allen.
Mm-hmm.
Pinkerton insisted that even Union officers were not to use his real name in the field, and he lived under his alias for months, signing reports and issuing orders and recruiting agents, all while pretending to be somebody else entirely.
Interesting.
Yeah, that is kind of interesting. The assumed identity, even to his own people, is cool. He later wrote that the hardest part wasn't lying to the enemy. It was never relaxing around allies because one careless name could get somebody killed.
That's true.
One of Pinkerton's most effective intelligence coups didn't involve disguises or gunfights. He recruited a woman who posed as a laundress moving between camps along the Potomac. Soldiers fucking ignored her because women.
Yeah, she's a lady doing laundry.
Just some laundry lady. And officers talked freely around her. She didn't write any reports. She memorized all of her details.
Nice.
And the details were like the number of tents, the placement of artillery, which units needed supplies, how often different patrols were relieved and stuff like that. And she'd return and recite everything, by memory.
Mm-hmm.
Pinkerton had learned that written notes were too dangerous. He later admitted that some of his most accurate troop estimates came from women doing invisible work like this, not from formal scouts. Who'd have thunk broads could be useful, huh?
Not us. Never us.
Pinkerton himself crossed Confederate lines multiple times, once nearly fatally. Disguised as a Southern sympathizer, he traveled by river and rail gathering information. At one point, Confederate suspicion got real tough on him suddenly. Somebody recognized his mannerisms, not his face. Like they'd heard like his affectations, the way he talked and moved. He escaped only because a local enslaved man, quietly sympathetic to the Union, misdirected Confederate patrols long enough for Pinkerton to slip away, which is fucking cool.
A lot of people saying a lot of things that aren't accurate in this episode.
What do you mean?
Just like, oh no, he definitely went that way.
Oh yeah. It's just like slaves like, no, it's not.
Why are you guys going this way? I just watched him run that way.
I watched him run that way.
He took a left.
The slave looks at him and I'm going to do a thumbs up on the radio. Yeah.
He's just hiding right behind the slave. Go that way.
He hides in a barrel. He's like, hey, this is a good quality barrel.
Who made this?
Who made this barrel? An aficionado of barrels.
Jesus Christ.
But yeah, Pinkerton never forgot that. He later wrote that enslaved people were his most reliable intelligence source because they had the strongest incentive to tell the truth. And I love that. I love the idea of enslaved people taking the opportunity to fight back through like light espionage and misdirection and shit. This is it's a cool story element. It's already a fucking dramatic ass story.
Sure.
Like I just love that, like, it's almost like Dungeons and Dragons like. It's like fucking an NPC just pops up like, no, over there. No, get out of here. That's like,
you heard it here, folks. First, folks. Riley thinks slaves are NPCs. Do whatever you want to them.
Wow. That's not what an NPC is. It's just a not playable character. They're people with real thoughts, feelings, and lives.
Yeah. Okay. Fair.
It's because they're off screen. Because because you can't control them.
You watch that Ryan Reynolds movie. I get it.
Which I don't watch Ryan Reynolds movies.
That's not
Which
good.
one? Jingle All the Way? What's that one? Jingle Bells? What's that Christmas movie with Ryan Reynolds?
I don't know what you're talking
Blade 3.
I forgot he was in that. Jesus
So
Christ.
Pinkerton recruited.
He did a movie where he was like they were like all in a video game.
What?
And they were all NPCs, and like there's just the players are like coming through, just fucking blowing shit. It was like a GTA style like game,
I don't get.
and then he like breaks the programming and just starts doing his own thing.
Was that Ready Player One?
No,
Is that Ryan Reynolds?
no, Ryan Reynolds.
Tron.
No.
Tron Legacy.
What is it? Free Guy. Free Guy, everyone, get it here. Free Guy. Never saw it, but I'm familiar with it.
Tron Resurgence.
Yes.
Tron Requiem.
No. Jared Leto, what?
And the new Tron. Why nobody watched it?
Jared Leto sucks. I hope somebody executes him.
Drew, you're not here.
I don't have any political opinions on this podcast, but I would say apolitically that Jared Leto should be shot in the street like a dog.
You know.
And you know why? I'll tell you why.
Morbius.
You ever see Blade Runner 2049?
No.
That movie is fucking phenomenal,
Uh-huh.
start to finish, except for Jared fucking Leto's in it.
What about Dallas
like-
Buyers Club?
Honestly, I don't care for his performance in that movie, but I also don't care for that movie much either.
Okay.
I think that's kind of trumped up what could be called sucker bait. I thought it was a bullshit. It's a fucking tear-jerking bullshit movie. I don't like that shit.
You don't like tear-jerking bullshit movies?
Yeah.
That's a lot of movies.
Yeah, I don't like that shit.
Okay.
Anyway, fuck Jared Leto. He fucking ruins Blade Runner 2049. The movie is so fucking good. It's crazy. Like, it's crazy how good that flick is.
I don't
You ever see Blade Runner?
The original one?
Yeah.
No.
Are you kidding me? You never seen Blade Runner?
Why does this ever surprise you anymore?
Because you've seen Aliens.
Uh-huh.
So why haven't you seen Blade Runner? They came out at like the same fucking time. Seen Terminator.
Uh-huh.
That's all part of the You see RoboCop?
Yeah.
They're all like in the same thing.
Yeah.
Total Recall?
Yeah.
That's like it's fucking Blade Runner's like the best of those.
Well,
I mean, I guess highest quality of those, maybe?
Drew doth protest.
It's not the most entertaining. RoboCop's the most entertaining.
I mean,
Maybe
yeah,
Total Recall.
shoot his hand off in the first fucking 5 minutes of that movie.
Hands, arms,
they shoot,
legs.
Yeah, they shoot, but I mean, they show the
He shot him in the penis.
They show the hand get blown off.
Yeah.
Like crazy cinematic shot.
Fucking love RoboCop.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Anyway, Jared Leto fucking ruined Blade Runner 2049.
Okay. Yes.
And here's how he does it. Here's how he does it. He has no reason to do this, but he makes his voice sound like this. Yes.
Stupid.
I'm Jared Leto, and this is a movie. And if he just hadn't done that, if he had just been like, yeah, this is my voice. This is the character I'm playing. Here's my voice. Would have been fine. Wouldn't even have noticed it was him. Wouldn't have been a problem.
Huh.
But instead, he made this choice.
Doesn't he? Isn't
It
he
makes
like?
me fucking insane.
Doesn't he try and do like method acting shit? But he's not a good actor.
Yeah, he
He's
sucks.
Not good enough to be.
His method is eating poop before he goes on stage. That's his method. I want to make sure that my stomach. I want to feel like I got a stomach full of poop.
Okay. So, and this all has to do with Alan Dulles in what way?
Allen Dulles.
I mean, Allen Pinkerton.
I forgot. I don't know. It doesn't matter. We're talking about video games. Free
Man, free guy.
guys.
Oh, because you said slaves are NPCs.
Yeah.
Okay, got
Wait, no.
it.
So Pinkerton recruited pretty aggressively, and one of his agents was captured while attempting to move intelligence across lines disguised as a traitor. Not a traitor, but a traitor. The Confederates...
Trader of goods.
Trader of goods.
Gotcha.
The Confederates found coded material sewn into his coat lining, and the man was executed. Pinkerton
Woof.
received confirmation days later. He didn't record the man's name in his memoirs, but he did write that this was the moment that the war stopped feeling like theoretical to him. It's not just like shit on charts. Now he's like, oh, people are getting fucking executed.
Yeah.
And from then on, he got a little gun shy. He reduced written codes. He used oral transmissions whenever possible. He accepted that some of the intelligence just wasn't worth somebody dying over,
Mhm.
which made him a little less effective all in. There was like a big turning point for him where he like started getting nervous about having his fucking operatives killed.
Sure.
You know? Before Antietam, Pinkerton's network reported Confederate movements, but really couldn't provide any certainty. And then after Antietam, which was a bloodbath, Pinkerton walked
Barely
the
knew
field. Antietam barely knew him.
Go on. Fucking. I'm trying not to. That's not true. I'm not trying not to derail you.
That's cool.
Trying
Derail.
very actively to derail you.
You can derail this Underground Railroad all you want. After the bloodbath that was Antietam, Pinkerton walked the field and he saw the cost of bad assumptions, and tens of thousands were killed or wounded. And he wrote later that this is when he fully understood the moral weight of his intelligence work, and the moral weight specifically of being wrong, because being wrong didn't just mean embarrassment. It meant like a lot of graves. He blamed himself for like
the entire battle of
not
Antietam?
the entire battle, but like he's like, if I had had better intelligence and I hadn't been confident about sending out bad intelligence, it could have been prepared differently. This battle could have gone differently.
Okay. All right.
It's just like a pretty, I don't know, a modern insight. That's like, if I was more accurate with my information, we could have like halved the losses this day.
You know, I like that that he operates from a very like the buck stops with me.
Yeah.
Which is something that I think has been lacking in any type of leadership in this country for decades. So, cool. I dig it.
By late 1862, Pinkerton's relationship with the Union command had deteriorated. General McClellan was removed. Pinkerton quietly exited military intelligence. He didn't consider it like a failure, but he knew the work had sort of outgrown him. He's like, I started this position, but I don't really know how to proceed with it. The war demanded a permanent institutional intelligence service, and Pinkerton had built something really improvisational and kind of like personal. Still, many of his methods, agent networks and counterintelligence and compartmentalization of information, became really standard practice. And even during wartime intelligence work, Pinkerton continued helping formerly enslaved people. He'd facilitate escapes from Confederate territory and all the stuff that he was doing before that. That never ended for him. Near the end of his life, Pinkerton made a statement that sums up his Civil War experience perfectly. He says, "The most dangerous enemy was not the Confederate Army, but the belief that certainty was possible." And for a man who built his life on uncovering truth, that's a hell of a thing to say. So, post-Civil War, Pinkerton returned to private work. This is where things get a little fucking weird. He has a few really famous cases, but even his most famous cases start to show where he's unraveling a little bit as like a leader. So the Pinkerton Intelligence Agency at this point, because of his fame and notoriety during the Civil War and, pre-Civil War, is like super popular.
Right.
It's like you could make some comparisons to some contemporary government entities, but like pretty much anybody who was like, I want to fuck some people up and carry a gun, like it could just join the Pinkertons, and they'd be like, yeah, we'll go fucking chase Jesse James or some shit.
Well, they got contracted with, which railroad was it? Union Pacific?
We get into that. I've got that down here a little bit further. They actually hunted Jesse James kind of brutally. Like tactics started to get a little more intense as it sort of got away from him. So like as Allen Pinkerton started his little like unit, it was like the Untouchables, he was fucking pretty badass little brigade of like, we're gonna fucking, stop these murderers or fucking uncover
at
this.
any cost.
Yeah, exactly. But then as he starts gaining like hundreds of employees, and there are a bunch of people in multiple different territories, even heading out into like far west, like far away from where he is, protecting like Western Union cars and shit like that. He stops having direct control over these guys. So at this point, there are now hundreds of Pinkertons out of his control that he doesn't even know, that he's never met, that are just being run from other offices.
Right.
Like the fucking Texas Rangers out there.
Right.
Yeah, so things started to get a little weird. The Pinkertons suffered a really heinous black eye in the hunt for Jesse James because an operative threw an explosive into the home of Jesse James' mother and killed his 4-year-old little brother.
Jesus Christ.
And this is a really important moment in the story for a bunch of reasons. First off, the general public fucking loved the James brothers. There are books and songs about them all over the country. They were thought of as like modern Robin Hoods or outlaw heroes. Interestingly, the sway of public sentiment here against the Pinkertons as anti-working class thugs of an oppressive government.
Yeah.
So all you have to do is blow up one 4-year-old. People are like, thugs. Maybe if that 4-year-old hadn't been committing crimes,
Yeah.
if he had just done what he'd been told.
I've heard he was a domestic terrorist.
Damn.
Hot damn.
Word on my 4chan is that.
So yeah, the public sentiment swaying against the Pinkertons is anti-working class thugs of an oppressive government, unabashedly using fear and violence against women and children. Just real scumfuck traitor assholes, kind of cowardly pieces of shit real Americans hate.
Yeah. They kind of were, though.
Yeah, because, they're just fucking just thugs. Thugs working for a government gone mad.
They were rolling into towns and beating people up and fucking...
Yeah, like some real pig fuckers.
Like some absolute fucking pieces of shit. No checks and balances on what they were doing. They just, iron fist shit.
Grabbing people out of stagecoaches?
Or their homes.
And just beating the shit out of them in the street.
Who'd do that?
Fucking douchebags. Pinkertons, motherfuckers. Fuck Pinkertons.
Fuck the Pinkertons.
So yeah, general sentiment had swayed.
Defund the
against
Pinkertons,
them.
I think, is what we're saying. Defund the Pinkertons.
But the general sentiment turning against these pig fuckers was indicative.
By the way, they still exist.
Yeah. That's I was going to end the whole episode with that, but it's cool. You can say that now.
Sorry, spoiler.
It was great. I thought it was a good way to end the whole thing. Sorry, I've only got like 20 more pages here to read.
Oh, sorry, I know things already. My bad. Next time I'll pretend I don't.
Sorry, I said stupid asshole to start the show. I was just mad at you.
You called me a stupid asshole?
Yeah.
When?
I said, I'm your lead detective, Riley Bowen, and with me today is
yeah.
stupid asshole, Patrick Wall.
Yeah.
I don't think you said your name, though. I think you just ate French fries into the fucking microphone.
No, I did say my name. I said
Pervert Wall.
I was not eating French fries yet at that point.
I was still on the burger. So anyway, yeah, the public turn of sentiment was indicative of the turn they were actually going to make not long after this.
Mm-hmm.
When Allen Pinkerton left Union Intelligence in late 1862, he returned to private life with national fame. He had a massive professional network. He had a reputation for secrecy and effectiveness. But what he didn't return with was moral clarity. The moral clarity that he'd had beforehand was pretty staunch. Like, it's fucking,
right.
I'm a stand-up man. The law, good, anti-slavery, yada, yada.
Right.
The war settled slavery, but it unleashed something else, which was corporate power on a scale America had never seen before.
Yep.
Railroads, express companies, banks, these are now the new nervous system of the country, and they were terrified of sabotage and theft and rebellion, and that's where they came to Pinkerton. He began hiring out his agents as hired muscle, bodyguards, bounty hunters, essentially well-dressed outlaws with a badge. This influenced a lot of the regional law offices in the Wild West as well, which was it's actually really well illustrated in Red Dead Redemption. The Red Dead, both the first and second games, but that game also paints the Pinkertons as cruel, corrupt, and generally insidious.
Same with God damn it, what's the show? On HBO.
Deadwood, yeah. Deadwood, same sort of deal. Yeah, it's
Deadwood.
like, wow, these guys are real fucking cocksuckers.
Yeah, what's his name? Al Swearington or Swear the fucking
Timothy Oliphant.
No. He played Seth Bullard.
I don't know. I haven't finished that show.
The guy who owns the pub and brothel and
Ricky Jay?
Huh?
Short little guy, bald?
No.
Oh, the
played...
British guy.
Yeah.
I know you're talking about, yeah.
He freaks out every time something happens and he's like, you could fucking bring the Pinkertons over here.
Yeah. The bartender at that little tavern is the short guy, the bald guy? Or not bartender, but the money counter guy? His little, the British guy's little friend?
The guy that owns the hotel.
Yeah. Yeah, he's famed
chicken shit guy.
Legendary magician Ricky Jay, one of the greatest magicians that ever lived.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is just cool because he would pop up in weird shit like that from time to time. So Pinkerton's agency exploded in size after the war. Regional offices multiplied. The eye logo became synonymous with omnipresent surveillance. It was not the original intent of that wide open eye, but now it's we're fucking watching.
Right.
For criminals,
boy, if they could only see 2026.
Yeah, right. For criminals that represented fear, but for corporations that was more of a reassurance sort of thing. But then for the workers of corporations, it was something else entirely. Pinkerton detectives began guarding railroads, breaking up strikes, infiltrating labor organizations, and identifying organizers. And this is where the history gets really fucking uncomfortable.
Real muddy.
Yeah. Pinkerton himself had once been a radical labor sympathizer, and now his agency was being used to suppress labor movements, often violently. He justified it.
Remember when we talked about the West Virginia Coal Wars?
Yeah.
That was not the Pinkertons, but it was another private detective company that was basically...
It's the same shit.
Yeah, it was just a different company doing the same shit.
It's just the Pinkertons just a bigger name at the time.
Right.
I mean, frankly, the other company probably got brought in because the Pinkertons were expensive. You know?
Pinkertons were mostly doing train shit,
Uh-huh.
and these guys were mostly doing coal mining towns.
Yeah. So Pinkerton justified this sort of labor union striking breakup shit as a real sharp distinction. Lawful protest was acceptable, but sabotage and violence were not. That's where he just sort of like really laid it down, you know, which is a very muddy way to think about any sort of action.
Well, there's definitely no gray area between those two things, right? There's no way that there could be.
According to Allen Pinkerton, no. It's like, hey, you're breaking the law, you're breaking the law. But I think any thinking human with like a soul could see that, you know, obviously people who are protesting for, you know, rights, against human rights abuses, things like that, people who want like food and shelter and stuff like that might, I don't know, get agitated.
Socialist.
Things could turn, I mean, might turn to, you know, what could be considered a more illegal action. Sometimes illegality is not necessarily bad, which is something that Pinkerton himself would have embraced earlier in his career. The line blurs in practice. There's an anecdote from the early 1870s where Pinkerton reportedly argued with one of his sons about union-busting contracts, and Pinkerton insisted, "I will not sell oppression, I sell protection." And his sons...
Jesus.
Well, his sons were less idealistic, as were his clients.
Uh-huh.
By the time of major labor conflicts like the Great Railroad Strike of 1877, Pinkertons were widely viewed as mercenaries for capital, regardless of Allen's personal views. That's kind of the thing with the company getting so big it got away from him. And as he got older, his sons took over, and they had more mercenary views themselves. Like, they were less concerned with, like, being detectives.
Right.
And they're like, what do you mean? We're making all this fucking money breaking up strikes and shit.
Jesus Christ.
It is one of history's really cruel ironies, I think, that the formerly abolitionist radical was helping enforce an economic order that crushed workers themselves.
Yep.
Like, the thing that he fled Ireland from, he became. And actually a worse version of it.
The thing that he worked so hard to abolish, he reinforced just in an evolved version.
Yeah, it's a tragic story, but it's also like, I find it really interesting to think about.
It might not be slavery per se, but I mean, these company
indentured
towns,
slavery,
these company
you know?
towns with you know, basically workers working for almost nothing wages and living in company shelter or company housing.
Post Civil War, that sort of slavery just gets rebranded.
It's the new slavery.
It really is just a rebranding. It becomes debt slavery.
It's wage slavery.
Yeah, wage slavery, exactly. Which is pretty insidious when you're thinking that the person who did all of that to try and abolish that exact sort of thing
is now protecting that.
Is now selling his own workers to work for slave masters, which is fucking crazy.
Yep.
Just rich corporate slave owners.
Yep.
You know? In his later years, Pinkerton began publishing memoirs and semi-fictionalized accounts of his cases, but the books burnished his reputation, justified controversial decisions, and emphasized morality and order and vigilance. To be like, I'm a good man.
Yeah.
I believe in these things. What he is an old bitch. They also downplayed labor violence and framed the agency as neutral guardians of stability. And Pinkerton was like trying to shape his legacy consciously so that people would think of him in a kinder light. Which, I mean, tracks. At a certain point of wealth, you know, and age, I guess, like, he's not even concerned about... He really should have scrapped the whole fucking company after the war, honestly. But, like...
Yeah, I was going to say at a certain point of PR nightmare, you gotta do something.
Pull it back. You know?
So your options are chuck the whole thing in the dumpster, or go on a PR campaign to try and recoup some of your fucking...
There's so much of this throughout history, though, where like somebody who is so revolutionary or good to start their life becomes like the very piece of shit that they were fighting. Yeah. Look at Stalin. Like, Stalin's revolutionary actions early in his life, just be it fucking... He becomes a worse version of what he's fighting against, you know?
I mean, he started off pretty shitty, but...
Well, he was a fucking douchebag, but he was fighting for something.
Yeah, that's why you just die young.
Yeah, that's it.
Can you imagine if Kurt Cobain was still alive? Can you imagine if Nirvana was doing a fucking, you know...
What if they were doing like a fucking Nike Air commercial right now?
35-year reunion tour with fat Kurt Cobain up on the stage? Singing Smells Like Teen Spirit, voice breaking.
Fucking pulling an Axl Rose.
Yeah, ugh, God. That is exactly what I was thinking of. Yeah. Fat Axl Rose. That's exactly what I was thinking.
Axl Rose.
Faxel Rose.
Axl Rose, at least, was always a piece of shit.
Fat So Rose.
So yeah, Pinkerton increasingly relied on his sons William and Robert to run daily operations, Control slipped away from him. He suffered health problems, exhaustion, and depression, and he died in 1884 from complications. This is interesting. Complications after biting his tongue during a fall.
What?
Yeah, he fell, he bit his tongue, and it got infected, and he died. It's like, it's a strangely unheroic ending for somebody who'd like dodged assassins and fucking execution.
What a bitch ass way to go out.
It is possibly like a nasty bit of propaganda, sort of saying he's such a liar that his fucking tongue rotted off and he died. But like, he could have also died from malaria. But I mean, that's fine too. It's 1884, you know.
Yeah.
But I mean, he got older and he fucking died and was unimportant. Like that's kind of everything rolled on past him. He started this whole thing, and that's like it's a very.
And he lived into what, his 60s?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
He died in 1884, so yeah, in the 60s. But like, it's just a very Citizen Kane kind of ending. You know, it's just like, hey, he just fucking got sick and died. Nobody cared.
Yeah.
The company didn't need him anymore. His sons took over.
Jesus.
You know, he's not guiding anything. He's just kind of in his fucking mansion, haunted by the ghosts of his past, and hopefully just a couple of like real ghosts. Pinkerton! It's Abraham Lincoln. You didn't save me in the end.
That would be cool.
That'd be cool. So that's Allen Pinkerton. I've still got like fucking 20 pages.
You've said 20 pages at least 3 times.
Let me
now.
see how many pages I've got. I got 12 pages left. All right. So after Allen Pinkerton died, the agency didn't slow down at all. In some ways, it became more famous, more feared, and far more controversial. Stories from this era feel a lot less like.
I feel like the word insidious could be in there.
Insidious
too.
is
a
good
word
because
in
it becomes. I mean, they didn't like put on masks and fucking bulletproof vests and fucking patrol city streets or any shit like that. But like, I mean, like some fucking
They
assholes.
didn't have those yet, I don't think.
Yeah, I mean, like, because who the fuck would do that? It's psychotic.
Yeah.
But generally, like, if you saw Pinkertons on the street corner, like, you didn't have a good feeling about it.
Yeah, no.
You know, it's not like they're not here to fucking defend me. you know?
Yeah, I mean, if you've watched any Western or like read anything, or even actual like historical accounts of the time, if the Pinkertons rolled into your town, everybody was like, fuck.
Yeah.
Like everybody was on edge.
Yeah.
And that's just like, I'm sure there are people who think that, yeah, that's how law enforcement should be. It isn't. You're dumb.
It's not.
You're stupid, and that isn't how it should
Laws are to protect people.
be. Yeah.
Generally, all functions of government are to protect people, human beings, human being people. So,
Socialist.
no, that is literally the function of government. I mean, there's no other reason.
Sound like a fucking commie.
There's no other reason for it. Otherwise, we could just live in the fucking woods in city states and shit, which I'm fine with.
I'm totally fine with.
Yeah, if you want to do independent city states and like have fucking Mad Max Badland Raiders and shit, that's cool.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck.
Does the
That could be cool.
Does the internet still exist in this?
No.
Perfect.
I mean, if it does, it's in some small enclaves.
I vote yes.
You could build your own.
Mm-mm.
You'd have to build your own. It's not like there's going to be connected electricity. You might be able to take over like a fucking like hydroelectric plant or something.
Yeah.
You know?
There's a lot of solar panels
There are
out there.
plenty of books out there that'll teach you. Yeah, I can steal all the solar panels. Shh, that's not my plan.
You know the Fallout plan. We got the
Drew, delete that solar panel comment. I don't want anyone to know my shit. I'm serious.
I feel like our Fallout plan has already been produced and put out into the ether.
Oh yeah, I mean everybody's got a fucking plan. You know what my big plan is? Like when the shit really goes down.
What?
Fucking just hide out for a while. Or let's just chill out. Just fucking get under some stuff and be like, whoop. Bring some snacks.
Jesus.
Because you know what? If you go real far in the woods, I know that it's silly to say this, but if you go real far in the woods, probably you'll be fine.
Mm-hmm.
Because a lot of people aren't doing that.
Yeah.
They're going to be hacking it out in the streets.
Sure.
Yeah, just make sure that you have guns. Anyway, so Allen Pinkerton dies. The stories from this era feel a lot less like detective yarns and more like, you know, like American industrial noir, you know, the fucking private armies and outlaw manhunts and undercover agents, and shit starts to get like more intense, you know, because they are still running a detective agency ostensibly.
Right.
You know, in Homestead, Pennsylvania in 1892, workers at Andrew Carnegie's steel mill went on strike after brutal wage cuts. Carnegie's manager, Henry Clay Frick, decided to break the strike by force. He hired 300 Pinkerton agents, which is like, even having a force where you can be like, yeah, you can have 300 of my guys. Sure, why not? They all got guns, fucking guns and clubs, and they don't really care about killing people. So fucking throw them in there. The Pinkertons were loaded onto barges at night armed with rifles and floated down the Monongahela River?
Wisconsin?
I guess. No, Pennsylvania.
Okay.
Monongahela?
Sure.
Anyway, so a bunch of these motherfuckers are loaded onto barges at night with guns and sent down the river towards the mill where the steel mill the strike was happening. And they thought they were going to like pull a surprise, like, hey, 300 guys, fuck, we got guns, right?
Mhm.
But instead, thousands of striking workers and townspeople were waiting, watching them come down the river. Like, what the fuck are these assholes doing? When the barges tried to land, someone fired. Just nobody knows who fired first. And a full-scale gun battle erupted. Pinkertons and workers exchanged fire for hours. Workers used rifles and homemade cannons and burning oil dumped onto the barges.
Jesus.
Several men were killed on both sides, probably like 5 on both sides. Eventually, the Pinkertons surrendered and were beaten as they were marched through town. Photographs of battered agents shocked the nation. The Pinkertons were now publicly seen not as detectives, but as corporate mercenaries.
Mhm.
Congress later banned the federal government from hiring them. And Allen Pinkerton's ghost was like, no!
Right. But big corporations still hired them.
Yeah, exactly. Like the mercenary thing the government could no longer hire them to work cases, which is interesting because that's where you start getting the FBI. Because the Pinkertons were running the cases that the FBI would later run.
Yeah.
And by the end of the Pinkerton regime, Hoover's already coming in,
Mm-hmm.
you know? So after Homestead, the agency changed its tactics. And during the Pullman strike, which shut down rail traffic nationwide.
J. Edgar, by the way, not Herbert.
Yeah. The Pullman strike, which shut down rail traffic nationwide in 1894, Pinkertons were embedded quietly in different situations like that.
Mhm.
So instead of doing the big, hey, a bunch of men with guns, they were like, hey, we're just going to kind of place them around and have them get in on some of this
Right.
bullshit. Maybe we'll have them throw a Molotov cocktail. Maybe they can start the riot, you know? Which is a weird tactic that nobody uses anymore. So Pinkerton operatives joined workers groups under false names. They attended union meetings for months. They mapped leadership structures. They identified organizers and radicals and moderates, really ingratiated themselves as double agents. One might call traitors.
Yeah.
And then rather than confront the strike head on, Pinkertons fed intelligence to railroad executives and local police and federal authorities.
Corporate espionage.
Yeah, which is, essentially chicken shit bullshit.
Corporate espionage.
There are a bunch of, I'll stop with cowards. I was going to say coward, some other stuff. I'll say cowards. Yellow-bellied, pig fucking scum fuck.
Bunch of yeller.
And the strike collapsed after federal troops were deployed with all that information. And there was no dramatic shootout this time. That lesson really stuck. Pinkertons didn't need guns. They needed information.
Mm.
And this tactic was never used again by anyone. We're having fun, guys, aren't we?
Jesus. Is this episode called In a Perfect World?
I want to say very clearly, and I mean this, I did not pick this topic I literally did not pick this topic with anything contemporary in mind whatsoever.
Yeah, no, I mean, our schedule just kind of falls the way our schedule.
This has been on our list for a year.
Easily.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think it's important to note that history is a mirror.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you're seeing any similarities with current situations, aside from, a little joke or a jab here or two, I mean, that's because we've been down this road before.
Just a brief explanation. We got to the end of January in terms of we have a big whiteboard with all of our upcoming episodes. And I'll tell you exactly how far in just a moment. We got to the end of January and we still had I think we had all the way to the end of March still. But the whiteboard was looking pretty blank. So we went ahead and filled out our board, our topics board.
Took forever.
All the way to the end of this year, the end of 2026. We have every single episode weekly, what we're gonna do. And by the way, this episode was on the board from fucking easily 9 months ago that we did it last. So,
Yeah, I mean, before and during some stuff that's happening, but
if there's anything cosmically that's lining up in your head.
I mean, everybody says that history repeats itself.
It sure does.
And then there's the saying that those who learn history are doomed to repeat it, or those who don't learn history are doomed to repeat it. I think it's the double-edged sword of on one hand, people who don't learn history are doomed to repeat it, but then also people that learn history and want to weaponize it can repeat it at will.
There are people who learn history and go,
oh, interesting idea,
those are some good
interesting
ideas.
tactic. Yeah. They're like, hey, maybe this isn't working. Let me read a book here and see if this has ever happened before. And then, there's a whole fucking, we're not talking about anything in particular. It's not a political podcast, but like, Jesus Christ, pretty easy to see what we're talking about.
Yeah.
So at the turn of the century, the Pinkertons went back to what they did best, which was outlaw hunting, because they were now like, corporations are kind of like, all right, you guys are kind of a pain in our dick. And the government's like, we're not going to hire you for shit. So they start just like, okay, we'll do bounty hunting stuff then. They took on Butch Cassidy and the Wild Bunch, which was a loosely organized gang robbing trains and banks across the West. Pinkertons interviewed railroad workers and ranch hands and tracked fence networks who laundered stolen money. Like, it cannot be denied that the Pinkertons know how to detective. That's their whole shit. So they're tracking fence networks. They build detailed profiles of all the people in the gang, their habits, their lovers, their favorite saloons. It's a classic manhunt model. It's like Tommy Lee Jones in The Fugitive, search every gas station, residence, warehouse, farmhouse, hen house, outhouse, doghouse in the area. Like, it's the fucking, nah.
I don't care.
I didn't kill my wife. Well, okay.
Yeah.
If I had been in that role, I'd have gone, all right, cool.
Yeah, you would have Tommy Lee Jones him.
Tell it to the judge, man.
That was Tommy Lee Jones' whole thing. He's like, I got a job to do, man. I don't care.
Tommy Lee Jones is great in everything.
Yeah.
One Pinkerton agent reportedly said, we didn't chase them. We made the West too small for them. And agents followed the gang into Wyoming, Utah, Colorado, and eventually South America. They chased them forever because the Pinkertons, being a private agency, had no jurisdiction.
This is Butch Cassidy still?
Yeah.
Okay. They chased him all the way to South America?
Yeah. Yeah, the pressure became unbearable. Cassidy and the Sundance Kid fled to Argentina and then Bolivia. And while Pinkertons didn't personally kill them, their pursuit forced the gang out of the United States and ended the Wild Bunch era. In the early 1900s, the Pinkertons were hired to combat the Black Hand, which was an extortion network targeting Italian immigrants. Some of these are fucking cool. Like, this era is still like they're corrupt dickheads, but you can see a good movie set in here with like a couple of good detectives.
Sure,
you know what I
yeah.
mean? So they're taking on the Black Hand, which is like a Batman villain ass like organization name, right? So the Pinkertons posed as dock workers and shopkeepers and newly arrived immigrants, and they intercepted letters marked with skulls and daggers. What?
I was just thinking of some fucking Pinkerton agent like training to go undercover as a newly arrived Italian immigrant. My name is Giuseppe. I just get here.
I just come from Napoli.
I'm looking for work.
Do you know perhaps a criminal organization that need immigrants?
What can I do that's Italian? He's just got pockets full of like, it's a capicola. It's a sopressata. Do you want some cured meats?
Oh, you want a spaghetti? So they intercepted all these letters that had this like
so with a nice Parmesan. You're gonna love it.
Oh, you tell it to the Pope. So they intercepted all these letters marked with like weird imagery and like secret code shit, like skulls and daggers and threatening symbols and stuff. And agents traced handwriting and delivery routes and payment drops. And this work directly influenced early organized crime investigation techniques, like decades before the FBI.
I can't stop laughing. No, George, that's really good. You're doing it's perfect Italian guy, dude. You're gonna be great. Have you guys seen George's Italian immigrant? Dude, it's so good. Oh my God. Okay. I'm done. Oof.
The Pinkerton wasn't technically allowed to be hired by the government, but they could be hired out privately. So they ended up guarding like president-elects, and they monitored assassination threats, and they did, private security. They used early counter-surveillance techniques, and a lot of that stayed secret. They kind of started the Secret Service in that way.
Right.
It's like, we should really be doing this in-house instead of hiring the Pinkertons, So they just start the Secret Service.
Yeah.
By the 1910s, Pinkertons were fucking everywhere. There were railroads and mines and factories and government offices. You couldn't throw a stone out there without
throw a rock without hitting
a Pinkerton in the eye, and then he beats you to death in the street
and shoots you,
calls you a domestic
extrajudiciously, calls you a domestic terrorist and shoots you in the street.
But they scared the shit out of people.
Yes.
When you're shooting people in the street, people get a little fucking scared of you.
Like I said, if that's the way that the general public views you, then maybe it's time to reassess.
Yeah, exactly. So states passed laws restricting private detectives, which is what happens. Labor movements treated Pinkerton as like a curse word. The agency survived, but its mystique shifted from heroic to like ominous. And the Pinkertons get remembered mostly for their worst chapters. But there were absolutely cases where the agency did work that was genuinely admirable, victim-focused, like ahead of its time, especially in the late 19th and early 20th centuries. From the 1870s to the 1890s, Pinkertons broke what was known as the Great Train Robbery Rings. Railroad robbery wasn't really romantic in real life. At that time, it was happening fucking all the time. It was systematic. It was violent. It killed brakemen and guards and passengers and shit. The companies didn't hire the Pinkertons in these cases to punish the people letting the train get robbed. They hired them to stop the organized robbery syndicates.
Right. I think that whole part of the history of the Pinkertons, them protecting trains from robberies and stuff like that, the history doesn't reflect poorly so much as like the, labor breaking stuff.
Yeah, that sucks.
But I mean, there is still the whole, like, at that point, the United States had a judicial system. It had law enforcement. And I know in the West, it was a little like...
Well, that's starting to get into like, these are further territories. Right. At the time, and still a little bit to this day, even, like, if you're taking a train from fucking Massachusetts to California, there's a huge stretch of area where there aren't cops. There's nothing. There are no towns. If there are no towns, there aren't any cops.
Right.
You might have some highway cops, but like, there's nobody out there to fucking run up to your train and stop a robber.
Right.
So the Pinkertons would be the hired security for that whole thing. And at the time, bank robbers are fucking blowing safes with nitroglycerin,
which
they're murdering messengers.
Right, which I get, even today, any corporate entity can have private security, but the thing is that private security has to operate within the bounds of the law, and if something shit goes down, you got to call the cops, you got to call whomever, right?
Yeah, private security, like we talked about on our the Cockblockers episode.
I think the thing that doesn't sit well is sort of this extrajudicial way that they operated, even with the train robberies and stuff like that. Like just fucking killing motherfuckers.
Yeah, they're fucking they're like knocking trains off the tracks with fucking bombs and setting fire to them and shit. Like they're getting pretty nasty because a lot of this too, in that Wild West sort of thing, a gang back then is like, this is our territory.
Right.
It's like essentially like a fucking like a fiefdom, fucking, maybe not Jesse James specifically, but like there were all kinds of gangs at the time that'd be like, you're coming through, Mos Def territory or whatever.
Okay. That was a wild decision.
MOSEDEAF.
Jesus Christ.
It's right on this side of Yassine Bay.
Nice.
Yeah.
I like that one.
Anyway, so instead of chasing these outlaws individually, Pinkertons would like infiltrate the fencing networks. And they tracked where stolen bonds and cash are being laundered, and they followed money through banks and saloons. And in one major case, agents uncovered a multi-state robbery ring that included railroad employees, station agents, local officials. And the gang collapsed, but not because of shootouts, because the Pinkertons proved how the crimes were organized. And they fucking pulled the supports out from under them.
Which is good.
Yeah, I mean, that really influenced future financial crime investigation.
I'm good with that, yeah.
That's just all cool. Yeah, the 1870s in Pennsylvania, a secret society known as the Molly Maguires carried out assassinations of mine bosses and intimidated...
The Molly Maguires?
The Molly Maguires, yeah. They were fucking a protection racket. Racketeers in general.
Yeah.
So really kind of like Black Handy, Cosa Nostra kind of shit.
Hey, nice fucking shop you have here. Be a real shame if somebody threw a fucking brick through it and set it on fire, huh?
They assassinated mine bosses. They intimidated like political campaigners. There's a lot of arson, beatings, production racket shit.
Right.
Pinkerton agent James McParlin went undercover for years, living among mines, risking death daily. He targeted specific violent crimes, and he helped stop actual murders. He testified publicly under his real name, which put him in a lot of fucking danger, but he ended up surviving.
That's good.
Even critics of the Pinkertons conceded that real killings were prevented. The problem wasn't the investigation, it was how broadly employers later used them as fucking thugs.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the least talked about Pinkerton specialties was kidnapping recovery. especially before modern police coordination existed. Pinkertons tracked ransom drops and they identified repeat offenders. They recovered kidnapped children and adults across state lines all the time. Again, because they had no jurisdiction.
Right.
You know, that's the big benefit of being like a privately funded investigating squad.
Sure. Pre-FBI.
Yeah, pre-FBI. So this is the one hand, six in one hand, a half dozen of the other,
Right.
good versus bad, right? In one late 19th century case, agents recovered a kidnapped child after tracing handwriting inconsistencies in ransom notes.
Well, and by the way, it sure as shit isn't like the FBI has a fucking perfect track record either.
No, it does not.
So, you know.
I believe we talked about them, I don't know, murdering the piss out of people. Yeah.
So, I mean, you know.
Hey, let's get some whores and then throw this guy out a window. I want to eat some acid.
That was the CIA.
Yeah, same. Letter guys. The FBI, CIA, LGBTQ plus.
Those are all different things.
Are they?
Yes, they are.
Anyway, so they're fucking their ability to find these kidnapped victims was remembered by families for generations and shit. And, the great uncle was found by the Pinkertons. They did proto-counterterrorism in the early 20th century. Anarchist groups, like not labor unions, but small violent cells of anarchist groups carried out mail bombings, assassination attempts, and a bunch of public attacks. And Pinkertons infiltrated cells in Chicago and New York and Philadelphia. In one case, an undercover agent tipped off authorities about a planned bombing before explosives were planted. No arrests were announced publicly, but just a sudden disappearance of the people that planted the bomb.
Yikes.
Pinkertons just disappearing people.
Yeah. That's the part I was talking about, is like this sort of extrajudicial way of like conducting themselves where it's like, wait, hang on. That's not how things work.
Yeah. Yeah, that's extrajudicial stuff.
There's a whole justice system for a reason.
I'm like weirdly conflicted about that. I mean, I wouldn't say conflicted. I can pick and choose my history pretty well, Like I like the fucking rough and tumble investigator, Wild West sort of thing. Not so much the union busting, but
yes.
Pinkertons occasionally worked cases involving stolen artifacts or stolen rare manuscripts or museum thefts.
I mean, that's cool as shit.
Yeah, Indiana
definitely
Jones
cool.
ass shit. I'm into that. I want to be an Indiana Jones Pinkerton. That sounds fun. Hey, belongs in a museum. Get out of here, you fucking socialist. And I pistol whip him. It's like the whip with Indiana Jones.
I think you're romanticizing it a little bit. Probably we both are a little bit, but
I mean, it's easy to romanticize that era, especially the steam era.
Yeah. Steam everywhere.
There's some steampunks.
Whole towns full of steam.
But I mean, like these cases weren't just flashy; they were fucking romantic. I could absolutely do like Indiana Jones prequels where Henry Jones Sr. is fucking working with the Pinkertons to recover stolen shit.
Is this a real thing?
No, that'd be cool though.
Oh.
I'll bet you actually there was a series in the 90s called The Adventures of Young Indiana Jones. You remember that?
I do. That was
with
Sean Patrick Flannery.
Sean Patrick Flannery, yeah. Which is a really cool show, actually. I've watched a few episodes not too long ago. It always starts with rickety old Indiana Jones with an eye patch, like doing some old man business. Like he's like, hassling some punks at the soda fountain. Like, you kids, get out of here. And the kid's like, fuck you, old man, and knock him over. And
I'm an architect.
Some kid is like, Mr. Jones, you're too old for that. He's like, well, back in my day. And then it flashed back to Sean Patrick Flannery beating motherfuckers up. But I'll bet you Pinkertons pop up in that show all the time.
Stands to reason.
That was a cool show. Really, there's only one more thing I really want to talk about in this. One of the best examples of the Pinkertons doing exactly what Allen Pinkerton meant the agency to do is like my personal favorite Pinkerton investigation. That's the case that was the basis for the book and the recent movie Killers of the Flower Moon.
Okay.
Are you familiar with either of these?
I'm familiar with the movie. I have not seen
the movie just came out. But,
yes.
Or I guess like last year. But
yeah, it's been a
pretty good
couple
flick.
Of years, I think.
3.5 hours is a hell of a movie, but it's fucking pretty cool flick.
I heard it's a good movie.
I read the book after I saw the movie. The book goes more into this aspect. The movie shows the Pinkertons doing some stuff for a minute, and that's probably my favorite part of the movie, but it's definitely my favorite part of the book.
Okay.
Because I'll just get into it. It's a pretty eerie story, but it's really good. In the early 1920s, members of the Osage Nation in Oklahoma were being killed with alarming regularity. These weren't bar fights or accidents. People were shot in the head while sleeping, or blown up in their homes, or slowly poisoned. or just died of illness that no doctor could explain. The Osage were among the wealthiest people per capita in the world because oil had been discovered under their land. Each enrolled Osage citizen had a head right, which is a share of the oil profits that could be sold, or that couldn't be sold. It could only be inherited.
Okay.
Like you had to be a child or a spouse
Okay.
to get those head rights if the enrolled member of the tribe died.
Okay.
That detail matters a fucking lot because as deaths mounted, local law enforcement, well, I'll get there. That detail of inheritance is really important.
Okay.
So local law enforcement failed to investigate any of this seriously. They declared obvious murders accidents.
Huh.
The entire, like the Osage territory.
He accidentally shot himself in the back of the head.
Yeah, and that was happening a lot. See, the Osage territory, what it's important to note, was an independent Indian reservation,
Mhm.
but it was still ruled by the, what would be like the Bureau of Indian Affairs.
Okay.
And all of these Osage members who had ungodly amounts of money, like so much, they were like some of the wealthiest people in the world.
Sure.
They could only do withdrawals of that money with the consent of their white guardians.
Oh.
Right? And
that was Indian agents.
Exactly.
Yeah,
The only
yeah.
people
We've talked
that-
about this.
the only people that would patrol those areas as police were white people.
Mm-hmm.
So they weren't captives necessarily, but like they were heavily controlled
Mhm.
and with disdain. Like you could tell, like, and then they ended up getting murdered.
Sure.
You know, the Osage knew something was very wrong and that they couldn't trust local authorities. Desperate, the Osage hired private investigators, including agents from the Pinkerton National Detective Agency, before the federal government fully intervened. And this is classic Pinkerton territory. It's a closed community, powerful local figures implicated, witnesses afraid to talk, law enforcement's compromised. It's like, yeah, send in the Pinkertons. This is their shit.
Right.
Pinkertons were outsiders, and that made them dangerous to the killers because they didn't have any fucking no dog in this fight, right? So the lead investigator was a man named Tom White that had formerly been a Texas Ranger and manhunter, like kind of a classic legendary tough guy cowboy lawman,
Gay.
like from like generational.
Manhunter.
Like that movie Manhunter. But like Tom White, like his dad had been like a big Texas Ranger sheriff,
Mm-hmm.
shit like that. Like he grew up next to a state prison.
Okay.
There was a man named John Wren who was with him, who was a native Oglala Lakota investigator.
Nice.
Yeah, he infiltrated the Osage community and found details and insights into what was going on. Pinkerton investigations.
They were being murdered by Henry Exxon and
Henry Exxon.
Jim Texaco.
I mean,
Daryl Sunoco.
yeah, I really like the John Wren detail.
Bobby
because
Shell.
The romance of this story is pretty
Who
apparent.
owns that oil now? Do we know?
I mean, who doesn't?
Me? You?
I got some in my car right now. I don't own the car. It's my oil,
I'm
though,
saying
baby.
who owns the drilling rights to that
I don't know.
land now?
I couldn't tell you. But I like just like this detail because it's like Tom White and John Wren together are cowboys and Indians,
Mhm.
but they're working as
Literally,
Pinkerton detectives, which is fucking cool.
Yeah.
Like that's just a cool pair up, right?
Yeah.
So Pinkerton investigators quickly realized the murders weren't random. Their early findings included patterns of deaths within specific Osage families, beneficiaries who consistently gained head rights after deaths, suspicious guardianship arrangements with white guardians controlling Osage finances, and doctors signing death certificates under pressure.
Huh.
Pinkertons uncovered evidence that marriage was being used as a weapon. White men were marrying Osage women, then orchestrating the deaths of entire families to inherit oil wealth.
Holy shit.
They'd be like, okay, so I'll marry this woman, and then let's see, her aunt, her great grandmother, then her grandmother, then her aunt have to die, and then her, and then I'll have the money. So they would orchestrate like literally the fall of an entire branch of a family to get the rights to fall into a white man's hands. Fucking psychotic.
What year was this?
It was in the 1920s.
So 100 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everything's better now.
Oh, fuck.
So yeah, they figured
That
out
hurt me deep in my soul.
they figured out that this wasn't just a crime spree. It was a crime spree.
Crime spree.
It wasn't a crime spree. It was a conspiracy, and the case turns really bleak. Pinkerton agents realize that they're under surveillance, like almost immediately.
Mhm.
Their hotel rooms are searched. Informants are like backing out of giving them info. Witnesses recant. At least one Pinkerton operative reported that he believed he'd be killed if he stayed much longer. And another, Agent Bill Johnson, was shot to death as a warning to the other Pinkertons.
Goddamn.
Local power structures like businessmen, lawmen, even doctors were interconnected, and Pinkertons could document patterns, but arrests were impossible without federal authority. The agency had hit the wall that Allen Pinkerton was always afraid of. They had the truth, but they didn't have the power to enforce anything. So they had to pass the torch to the feds. This is where they literally handed off to J. Edgar Hoover's FBI. This is like the last torch pass of the Pinkertons in this capacity. Pinkerton findings helped convince federal authorities that this was not local crime. This was not isolated. It was mass murder for profit. The case was eventually taken over by the Bureau of Investigation, which would later be the FBI, under J. Edgar Hoover, with Tom White leading the field investigation. He went from the Pinkertons to the Bureau of Investigation.
Okay.
Pinkerton groundwork helped shape the federal strategy, especially the focus on inheritance motives and family-wide conspiracies, and they busted the case.
Okay.
The Pinkertons didn't get any fucking credit for it, which, whatever, they had enough credit. But it's like, I love that story in terms of like the fading house getting one last fucking punch in, you know? That kind of shit's cool, you know?
Sure.
Yeah. Like that's like the most romantic ending, I think, to the era of the Pinkertons that I could kind of come up with. So that's one of the moments where history like briefly kind of lines up. You know, you get the passing of the torch thing and the fucking the West being civilized-ish, you know, but it's not like Wild Westy, but it's still violent and like
it's still,
you know,
via murder of indigenous tribes.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. I mean, civilized is not what exactly like the best term for that kind of shit, but it's like it's no longer the Wild West.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, the Pinkerton National Detective Agency still exists. Today it operates.
What? No way.
Today it operates as Pinkerton.
The second Weezer album.
You've been Weezered, nerds.
What the fuck?
Are you not familiar with Weezering?
No.
An internet sensation where people will like send you a video or something, and then like say so it'll be like somebody playing a piano riff or something, and then they'll go into the riff from
Buddy Holly,
you know, and then it'll be like, you've been Weezered.
I am not familiar with this at all.
It's great. It's my favorite thing right now.
Okay.
I just Weezered everybody who's listening. If Drew plays along, we'll see. Pinkerton is a global risk management and security firm. It's been owned since 1999 by Securitas, the Swedish security giant. Modern Pinkerton isn't a rogue private army. It's a corporate regulated, compliance-heavy operation. No strike-breaking militias, no shootouts.
Is this their corporate website?
No, this is mostly corporate intelligence shit.
Is this just you saying that?
They sell themselves as like preventative, analytical, ethical. It's all very corporate, sanitized, but it is like it's
Swedish.
It's interesting, like the fucking.
It's the IKEA of security.
Yes, they're actually known as Pinkerton. They're closer to like in consultants than detectives.
Okay.
The name still carries some weight, but all in all, they're kind of sanitized, and that's where it is. Pinkerton. The brand is both an asset and a liability, and Pinkerton is aware of that. They're very careful with their public messaging. They're careful with contracts and optics. And I think personally that it's ripe for an ABC legal drama.
Do they still use the I?
Pinkerton, Wednesdays at 6. They don't get prime time.
You'll never believe what Sven Jurgensen gets himself into this week.
Yeah, they still use the I is a slightly different. It's a little more like the fucking.
It's just sleepy now.
No, it's still open. Like originally, it was just like it looked
sunsetting.
like it looked like a drawing of somebody, like a human being's eye, and now it's like the CBS eye. It kind of looks like the opening of Johnny Quest, you know, where the eyes on the sticks. You know what I'm talking about? Where they fucking the light shines out because they've definitely got like a light beam coming out of this one.
Okay,
actually, kind of a cool logo. No, it looks like Pac-Man.
Next week on Pinkertons.
Cybersecurity in the West is starting to get to be a real hassle.
Well, if you did a Pinkerton,
Oh, and it'd be cool. It's like, actually, this could be a cool series because they'd fucking like Wells Fargo needs cybersecurity and be like, just like old times.
You could do like the modern Pinkerton agency, like doing whatever the fuck and have it somehow like tie into old, like.
That's what I'm saying. The Wells Fargo used to do the fucking, like the stagecoach courier ships.
Yeah.
So like Wells Fargo needs to do cybersecurity and the Pinkertons are fucking on it. That's cool.
Yeah.
That's
but then
cool
you
shit.
keep having like flashbacks to 100 plus years ago and them doing stuff like that. And then that somehow like gives them ideas on how to do modern day cybersecurity.
Or like, okay, so you ever see Cold Case?
Using the lessons from 150 years ago.
You ever watch Cold? Oh, that's cool. Be like, oh no, because this guy, I remember this case. So like the Pinkerton guy's like referencing old cases.
Yeah, but there's like a flashback to the Old West And like you have a whole dramatized.
Is one of the Pinkertons a psychic? And he could be like, I think I remember in the past, the ghost they're talking to me.
No, they're just looking
The
through
ghost of Allen Pinkerton
records.
back in my day. But he talked
ghost of
because
Allen
he bit his
Pinkerton.
tongue and he felt he was like, back in my day.
He's retired. His ghost is retired to Sweden.
No, I mean like they do their shit in America. It's just their umbrella companies in Sweden. I think it'd be a great procedural drama, personally.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
And at the end, when they're doing the credits, you know, it'd be like you get intercut like shots of the episode. You know, kind of like how when they do Law and Order, like dun 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 dun.
Yeah.
And it'd just be like shots of like Sam Waterston and shit. But then with this Pinkerton show, be shots of everything that happened, intercut with shots of like the flashback.
yeah.
But the song could be "Pork and Beans" by Weezer. That
was not on Pinkerton.
That I wanna do.
That was the Green album.
What's on Pinkerton?
Tired of Sex.
Tired of Sex. Yeah.
El Scorcho.
El Scorcho. How does that one go?
God damn you have Japanese girls. Do it to me every time.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Pinkerton is a shitty album, dude. That's a really
It's not-
fucking lame one.
Listen.
No Hash Pipes on Pinkerton, right?
Nope.
Well, fucking.
That's Green album too.
the fuck good is what is that? Hurley.
No, it's Green album too.
Green album sucks.
Green album does definitely suck.
Blue album is such a fucking good album.
None
though.
of them are the Blue album.
God, that album's so fucking good.
Pinkerton has its moments.
What's your favorite Blue album song?
Probably In the Garage.
In the Garage is an incredible song, all in all. I think that my favorite is from the extended edition,
Uh-huh.
and it's the song Suzanne
Oh, I
that
know
they
Suzanne.
use in
Yeah,
the
yeah,
credits
yeah.
of Mallrats.
Yeah. Yeah.
Suzanne.
Yeah.
All
Da-na-na-na-na-na.
that
Yeah.
I wanted. Fucking killer. That whole album's amazing. That's probably my favorite album of all time, actually.
Wow. That's
Although
a big
I
one.
don't like much other Weezer, just that album.
Yeah, no, there's not a lot of other.
But that was the first, I think Weezer Blue album was my fucking rock awakening as a kid.
So that's just a lot of impact. So
Yeah.
for me, that was.
But every song on that album I can jam to at any time in my
Right.
life, always.
Right. So for me, that was Smashing Pumpkins' Siamese Dream.
Yeah, it's a good one
And
too.
so, like, to this day, like, that's in my top 5, if not top 3,
Yeah.
because, and I understand the impact just brain chemistry wise of like that being such an impactful at like a very crucial time in my life, not personally, just in terms of just being impacted by things like music. So, you know,
Tired of Sex, Get You,
uh-huh.
No Other One, Why Bother, Across the Sea, The Good Life, ugh. El Scorcho, Pink Triangle, Falling for You, and Butterfly. This album fucking blows. Thank
Nah,
you guys
it's a
for
good
tuning in.
album.
Oh, you want to do the
It's
socials?
an okay
You
album.
want to do the socials?
Can I fucking finally do the intro now?
Yes, please.
Jesus Christ. All right, I'm going to do the intro, then we'll start
All
the
right.
episode.
Thank you for tuning in, everybody. Have a good night. Bye.
If you like this episode, the best way to tell us is to get on whatever you're listening to and give us 5 stars. If you are on Apple Podcasts, leave us a review. That is like super, super, super good for the business end. It's like just good for us. If you are on Spotify, leave us a comment on this episode. If you are already on the internet, go to Delete Everything Podcast on Instagram. Give us a follow there. Check out photos for this episode or any other episode that you like. Go to YouTube. We've got some shorts. We're just digging around in the studio doing. They're all from Patreon episodes, so you get to like get a little sneak peek at our Patreon episodes and some of the dumb shit we do with those.
Get in on the ground level on those videos. We're about to upgrade our setup, baby.
Yeah, we are. And speaking of Patreon, what's dude, I've stopped doing this. I've stopped with the $8 thing. You know what's more than $8? Fucking
More than $8? A tank.
okay, I'm talking about in the same realm.
Oh.
Fucking Starbucks coffee. A
That's
large
true.
coffee from Starbucks will cost you more than
Actually, very apropos, I would recommend nobody purchase anything from Starbucks for a while because they are in the midst of a general strike.
good.
Don't be a fucking scab.
Yeah, instead of buying that fucking latte from Starbucks, join us on Patreon, patreon.com/delete everything podcast, and you will get our entire back catalog. It's close to 70 episodes, and we put out new episodes every week, and they are fun things that we talk about. What did we just talk about on Patreon? What was it?
That was the one where...
Oh, the bank robbery. We did the bank robbery.
Well, yeah, that's the one that we just covered. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about the one that released today when we were recording, where notorious tree pooper Dwight Mosby had told us to stop talking about Animorphs and talk about dicks more, so
Yeah.
we just talk about dicks
Well,
And
we
it's,
talk.
it's actually vile.
we
It's,
talk about.
it's dicks and butts.
We talk
and
about
cum.
antiquated porn. We talk
And
about
just it's cum heavy. We talk about cum a lot.
Pre internet porn and what we all had to do to get our spunk on back in the day.
I feel like if this is your first episode,
Get our spunk on.
get our spunk on.
That's what I just said.
I feel like if this is your first episode and you didn't know that we talk mostly about butts, booners, balls, butts, balls,
You were having a tough time
butts,
today.
balls, boners, and dicks and cum, then this ending is probably a surprise to you. But yeah, that is most of our topic stuff.
It's not entirely true, but
It's
it does
pretty.
come up a lot.
We are children. So.
Yeah, so Patreon, man, you'll get 70 episodes and new ones every week, and it's fun stuff. So
More of your favorite guys and more of my signature catchphrase, Peeny Vagini.
you don't say that a lot on Patreon.
I said it on this Patreon.
You did.
Oh, I was
You
going to
did.
say,
You
what, did I say it on this episode already?
I don't remember.
The Pinkertons were
Just now.
PIs, but we're PVs.
Yeah, you did say
Yeah.
that. Yeah, you did say that.
Private eyes, but we're Peeny Vaginis.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's it for this week. We'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.
Wednesday at 4 p.m. on ABC Family.